Hello together, this is Habit speaking to you and welcome to this video. Today I'll show you how I got a decent run while being undergeared for that mutation. I'm tanking and I had 4 randoms in my lobby. Heal and 1 DD were 625 and 2 DPS were between 618 and 622. So on paper it looks like I got carried, but as we will later see in this run, it was a fantastic teamwork. We had a lot of fun and I definitely did my job. What is important for undergear tanking? Be careful, but definitely not too passive, because you're gonna lose the aggression. Then you have to fight, get it back. So fight from the start and get a feeling for it. At the end of the video, I will show you my gear, perks, and what I'm using. Timestamps are in the description, so let's dive into it. So, as you can see, my gear score is 616. Recommended is 690. So let's start. So I used carrot cake for strange and constitution. I always use split food because it's much cheaper. I did use T4 coating on both weapons and one T5 Fawning Moon. At the beginning I wasn't sure if it will work, and I just want to get a feeling for the mutation, for the toughness. Can I stand it? So I just pulled the first group very small, just to form up in the beginning to see, and it felt pretty good. The healer was pretty nice, so the next group is a bit larger and I just make a small stop here. And I guess we are fighting here 4 enemies and the 2 crawlers or half-person upper bodies. I want to get followed by them, but I don't get the aggression, but the other team is bringing them. So the next group is pretty standard. Mostly I use my shockwave first, and then the defender's resolve of the shield into a heavy attack into reverse backstep, just to get the reduction of the cooldown of the defender's resolve. I saw as I run away that I got backs here and I went a bit too fast. I just let my group know that I gonna get my backs. So they were patiently waiting here. It was a nice group. And so next group is coming. First elite or first name. I guess it's all pretty standard. Kill the mobs, get the aggression. It's pretty nice, and that's always a part of tanking. Don't get nervous when you don't have aggression of 1 or 2 mobs or more. That's no problem. Or your DPS player should handle this. And just start attacking to get them back. So here again, shockwave. Defender's resolve. I started with a backstep here. That was pretty bad, but it happened. Here the healer is pretty nice. He has the awareness of the situation, so he lays his sacred crown and gonna collect the star medal. This is always nice if you have some people who see the signs and make it run a bit faster. There's normal pull here as well. DD with a throwing hatchet or the healer can pull them through the laser beam and then just kill them. Overall, what we didn't had, or I see the disease now on the enemy, but I remember that I asked them if we have inflected throw or scream on the void. So nobody collected star medal here. That was unfortunately, but okay. It was definitely not the key factor that we didn't get gold, and as you see in the title, it was definitely not gold, but it was a pretty solid run. Normally just one of our group is running here. Mostly I'll do it. We collect our first death here. I don't know how, but it isn't important. Wait, be patient. You can always die through the lasers. So, and I had the problem here that I couldn't collect that. I had no clue why, but luckily the healer was with me. So she collected the, what is that, the bubble to protect us from the lasers, and otherwise one other. So yeah, I'm writing here the player that he don't has to go around, but some people don't know that there is a stairs coming up if you have the bubble in your hand. And I'm not using a round shield, I'm using a tower shield. This is just a skin, so don't worry about it. And I always recommend a tower shield for tanking, or at least if you're tanking heavy. I guess I'm gonna die by the second laser this time, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was the heal, I don't know. So overall, in this compost mutation, disease is always nice to have, because you're getting the mobs or the healing reduction, and you definitely want it. Yeah. So he died here. Was a bit too ambitious. So we're killing 2 mobs and waiting for the healer. In my perspective, it's always good to give the comrades a good feeling, so I write here, don't worry about it. And so far, the heal was pretty good. And as we later see, he did a fantastic job, really. I rode later with him or her, and was just nice. So overall, I lose the aggression here for a short time. So always try to get the defender's resolve back or the shockwave. And don't be worried about it if you don't have the aggression. Don't let your calm get disturbed by the teammates or something, or whatever who one calls. Me, I have aggression. So I see, I wanted to go around the corner, but I got the sacred ground here, so I started tanking here. It was fine. Overall, it's pretty important for me in this run that I'm working so much into the sacred grounds, because otherwise I don't have the option to survive. And even later in this run, there is a nice clutch situation, or kinda clutch situation. And it's pretty important just to work around the sacred ground for me. I need the resistance and the healing of that sacred ground. So here the slow is not in a good place. I try to taunt them. Normally I'd like to run a bit further around the corner to collect the crawlers near the, what is it, soulstone or something like that. Now, backstab, taunt. The most important thing, in my opinion, is refreshing move on the sword. Second perk is Vicious or Bane, in my opinion. Yeah, Bane. And it is nice to have Vicious, but in my case, yeah, here I'm riding Infected Pro Void. Or Scream on the Void. Yeah, not Voice Gauntlet, Void Gauntlet. Just to get the disease on the enemies. So, I was pretty confident in this, or at this moment. Because I guess we had 2 deaths because of the lasers. So it's definitely gonna work out, I guess. But we're just 10 minutes into the dungeon. Normally I would say it's a 30-minute dungeon, so 1/3 is done and I die the first time. So why did I die? I wasn't careful enough and I don't have a Sacred Crown. So it is a tough situation here, but since the healer and the 2 standing DPS are so good, they could get me up. Or immediately try to get the aggression that the last DD could get up there, and then it's just wreck them. So now it's time to collect all the collectibles and to choose the right gear. So as you see, or as I said before, I have 616, which is 3 below the recommended gear score. And I'm using Nature Ward 2, so it's just T3 stones. And now I have 614. So I'm 5 points below the recommendation. And I just want to make some fun here. To make the waiting more enjoyable. So Simon Gray is definitely a bit... how can I say it? Yeah, it's tough. It's not that hard, but you definitely have to play it. Or have to play it a few times against it. Normally I lose the aggression at the beginning here, and now I lost it. So what can I do? Just get the backstab or the shockwave. No, I just go with normal attacks into the next taunt. At this point I was pretty afraid to get another punch in my face, so I just held the shield up. And the first DD died. So I try to get him a bit away from that. The second DD died. It's always the 2-hand overhead punch which kills the people. And with my gear I had pretty problems here to stand in the puke. I don't know how to call it. So the first DD is completely out. That's not nice, but definitely some situation which he can handle. But here comes an overhead throw. Second DD is down and out. So 1 DD, 1 healer, 1 tank, and 45 person. So I'm just doing the normal stuff here. Here I'm working myself into the sacred ground again. Because I was really afraid of pulling the defender's resolve when I'm getting jammed in my face. So I'm missing here a sacred ground, which comes there. Pretty nice. And I try to work around the Duke on the crown, and the last DD died. So we have 35% left, and it's just the healer and me. So what can I do in this situation? Survive. It's just about surviving. Even small attacks or light attacks, even if it's just 800 damage or 600, with a time I can kill him. And in the last 20 seconds I did 3% of damage. I don't know. Yeah. So the healer did a very good job here to keep me alive. And even here again, work around the part or the damaging areas on the ground. Don't be afraid if he goes into berserk. That shouldn't be a problem for you as a tank. Because as what I experienced so far is that the attacks may be a bit stronger and a bit faster, but it's nothing you shouldn't be able to handle. Yeah, the most important thing is here to block the overhead punch, or the two-handed overhead punch, this one, and then give him right in the face. So there were 3 parts in this phase, or in the situation, where I felt pretty confident. And I had the feeling. It was, after the first time it went pretty close again, and I was pretty careful and a bit afraid. So here I'm trying again to get in the sacred ground. The next sacred ground is here. And always try to not hold the shield always up, because if you break, you have a big problem. Till your stamina regeneration procs, you have a problem. You just can run, so just don't. And tank one or two punches in your face, and then keep your shield up. So the healer getting problems with 2 mobs, so I try to get the aggression, and that was pretty lucky that he survived there. So it's all about the same situation, getting the defender's resolve up, using backstab to reduce the cooldown. And after that, normally I try to get heavy attacks done, but I guess the timing is here pretty tough to get a heavy attack and 3 normal attacks, so mostly I did just normal attacks. So I guess we needed 3 minutes now for 55%. That was tight, but the healer was so good and kept me alive there. And as you can see, I pretty rarely drink some pots. No regeneration or health potion. So I just let the healer work. So just let the heal work. And finally we did it. And I even got expertise on my great sword. That was pretty nice. That was a really good feeling. I mean, 35% is pretty dope. It's 2 people and no DPS. So that all pushed me so hard that I wanted to do a big pull here. And I'm running into troubles. So I think this ghost is definitely the toughest part of Starstone. And the people are dying here. I haven't figured out if you can stop the spells of the ghost when you're stunning him. If you have feedback on that, I definitely want to know it. Because the ghost, the fire ghost at the end of the dungeon, you can stop him exploding or prevent the exploding when you CC him. So I have a feeling that this can be the case here as well. Because the indicators are so random. Sometimes he indicates the star pattern or the star pattern explosion, and sometimes not. So I have really no clue. That was a close call again. I should have earlier used my shockwave to get the shots done and maybe should have shrink apart. So that's the last lost group. And I know that I have one. Yeah, the ghost in the background is saying bye-bye. But since the movement of the healer is so dope, I can get him with my defender's resolve. So time to switch the gear back. Yeah, like I see, I don't play with crit because I can't reach 300 strength. My gear is too low. And I have a sword with 5 deck. Normally I play 300 strength, 16 dex, and 200 constitution. In this case, I want to have the 200 constitution. And I'm missing 4 points of strength to get the crit. That's definitely something I'm missing currently. And I especially really at the end, the boss, I don't know the name, but that is a boss where you definitely want your crit. And the healer saved me so much my life here. That heal was just on point in the right situation. What I really think, or what I think is really important to use both of your weapons. Not all spells, just get a feeling for the situation when which spell. But the shockwave, the armor breaker, the defender's resolve, and the backstab are helping you to collect your aggression. So I picked the heal that he should pull the crawler, and it was pretty nice. He instantly understood what I want, and we started to kill him with a how can I say it? It was a bit too ambitious to get the small crawlers, the ancient one. So I tried to run away and get a bit of time or distance to drink a potion, but it didn't went out. So overall, or again, the team is holding my back, or yeah, again, the team shows up and jumping in. That was nice. So the time is pretty tough. And at this point I was wondering, can we still do it? But I didn't really believe into it, that we can finish it in 6 minutes. Or 6.5. No, 5.5. So the healer, the heal gets here the aggression. That's because he used the spell. Just be careful together. Use your shockwave just to get the stun out of the, so that they don't follow you, or you have a small window of time where you can run. So normally you enter this area with 106 mobs. On the counter you need 120. And at the end they're waiting 15 if you're doing all, and skip the golden like we did before the tunnel. So I haven't checked what did we really got on our counter, but I just said in my routine, okay, kill 8 mobs. We ended up in killing all. It's no problem. I mean, when you're here, it's not that time different, and it's definitely not that what did us cost the gold. So I have 3 seconds on my shockwave, so I'm trying to run around and then bam, get into it. Try at least near the sacred ground. And fight near the archers. The archers are definitely the most painful things for the heal. Collect all your loot bags. Revive your teammate. I guess the heal is saying that he can pull the Berneka? I don't know. A Bernbecker is his name. I really like to kill both of these named together, but mostly if you run into, or if you're running into random lobbies, they're pulling the fire ghost out of there. I think it's a bit faster if you're doing both together, but you always have to be prepared for the fire explosion, and I definitely saw some wipes on that. And I try to give the healer the command that he should take the last one, the last elite, or the last name. And so I followed him and tanked it right around the corner, I guess. There he is. Long, long, boom. So we're even in a good time, in my opinion, but yeah, we're missing at the end, I guess, half a minute. I think 2 minutes for the end boss is doable, but mostly you should calculate 3 to 3.5. We will see how much we needed here. And the end boss is just damage. Just stay close, dealing melee damage, and go. It's one of the easiest boss in New World. You have to dodge once when he is about to land. So pretty easy. You don't have to kill the sword. Just focus on the boss. And it's so nice if you have crit. I don't have it on auto attack, so I get bounced around a bit. But I'm not sure. I guess I'm not losing the aggro here. It's definitely an improvement compared to the last run, which I had before. I always had here problems. So yeah, now we hit the 35-minute mark. And we have 1.5 boss to go. So as you see, we won't reach gold here anymore. It's set. And if we were 5 minutes faster, then we would have gold. Definitely. It's just the unfortunate situation on Simon Gray. So here you have two options, in my opinion, to avoid the waves. One is dodging before he's to land. Or you can, if you have crit, you can charge a heavy attack. That is something which I'm doing when I have crit. I mostly charge a heavy attack with my sword, because I'm playing the offensive tree of the sword. I'm not sure about the name. I guess Commander or something like that. So we needed 36 minutes and almost 40 seconds. Yeah, so that's the result. We had definitely not enemies, gatherable or collectibles, but unfortunately a bit too much respawns. But overall, it was fantastic, really. I was so satisfied. And this is my gear. So, Refreshing Ward, Ancient Ward on all armor sets. All crafted by myself. So I have a 600 shield, because shield doesn't get calculated into your gear score. Taking your forefathers from, what is that, death. Sword, keen, vicious, refreshing move. And here is self-crafted as well with shockwave. So, and this is my Lost Ward set, Refreshing Ward as well, and Lost Ward. I got that on all my sets. So it's pretty easy to get them, to get the gear together, in my opinion. The sets are pretty cheap. The jewelry you can farm easily, and the only thing you should buy is a sword with refreshing move, or you can even farm that. And this is my sword and shield guild tree. So Leaping Strike, Reverse Backstab, and the leadership. And Guardian's Defender's Resolve, of course. And my hammer skilling is Armor Breaker, Shockwave, and the third spell. Yeah, but overall, that's the run. It was unfortunately silver. I think, or I hope, that you don't have to be afraid with lower gear score than recommended, but it definitely helps. Yeah, you should. If you have any suggestions, or if you have some stuff differently, just tell me in the comments. I would appreciate any feedback about this. If this is interesting or just annoying, I don't know. Just tell me about it, and I will try to improve myself. Just let me know what you're thinking about it. In the future, I definitely want to run M10s and talk you through, because I think there is a lot of potential which I can show you in my runs, which we are experiencing, or which we are running into. Some troubles, some advantage, some things how we're running the route and stuff like that. So yeah, check that out in the future, and I hope you have a good day. See ya.